How do you know if you're a cocaine addict? How do you know if you are a cocaine addict? Here is how to know if you're a cocaine addict. There's no test. There's no true way to truly know if you're a cocaine addict. And I think this goes for every addiction. This is my unbiased opinion, though, of are you an addict? Like looking inside, like, are you an addict? Are you addicted to cocaine? Are you addicted to, crack? Are you addicted to meth? Are you addicted to alcohol? This is my opinion. If you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. What's up, guys? My name is Eric, and I'm a recovering cocaine and alcoholic addict, and I like to share my stories and experiences for anybody out there struggling. Not because I'm an expert, but because I know that the more vulnerable we are, the more real that we are, the more that people out there just seeking answers, just trying to fight through, don't feel alone, and that's what it's all about. And I get asked a lot of like, hey, I do, a couple grams of Coke every other weekend, and it's starting to become every weekend. Am I an addict? I can tell you this, as somebody who's an addict, I was doing 2 to 3 fifths of vodka a day. I was doing 1 to 2 8 balls of Coke a day. Those were my drugs of choices. It's not my place to tell anybody that they're an addict or not. Because as an addict, there is no test if we're an addict or not. Like, I was an addict essentially when I first did cocaine, and I became, oh my God, I love this. It was that, oh my God, I love this feeling inside. But at the time when I'm doing it, I'm not picking up on that at all. I'm not picking up on that at all because let's face it, the first time I even did cocaine, I was able to budget it out. I didn't do it all in one night. I had extra cocaine. It sat in a drawer for a while. Even when it came to drinking, I wasn't drinking every day. I wasn't drinking every night, but it was a part of me that just loved that feeling and started looking more and more forward to that feeling to where at no point in time can I look back and say, this is when it switched and I became obsessed and I became an addict. Because I don't think there's enough studies even done on addictive personalities of like, hey, what's that threshold of a non-addict versus an addict? I think if you ultimately look in the mirror and you question yourself, am I addicted to this? I think that's the closest you're ever going to get to a test or anything that shows that you're addicted. If you get to ever to the point that you question or you have to ask somebody else, like, do you think I'm addicted to this? There's a part of you that knows that you are. There's a part of you that knows that you are. And if you look back at your usage of whatever it is and you go from, a year ago to now and it has increased, you're an addict. That's the best thing I think you could really look at to go, hey, am I an addict or not? And again, this probably doesn't work for everybody. It's just me looking at myself of if I would have looked back in time and went, man, I went through, just drinking a couple beers after work, whatever, and just it started to escalate, and man, now I'm already to a fifth or whatever. I would have looked back and probably realized that I'm an addict. But when we're in that mindset, in that zone that we are not caring about it, we're not paying attention about it, the addiction just overtakes you. I mean, it really is like a Dr. Jekyll and a Mr. Hyde. It overtakes you, and you don't realize it overtakes you until you literally start ruining everything around you. You destroy everything around you, and then you have to stop and go, my God, I am an addict. Like, what do I do? How do I get sober? How do I get clean? And you start looking for answers and you're like, man, I wish I would have saw this. I wish I would have paid attention to this. And that's where hindsight, I think, with addiction is 2020. But ultimately, if you are out there and you're questioning if you're an addict or not, tell everybody that you are, man, and ask for help. Because if you cannot control it and it has control of you and your life starts to dictate around it, it can be a lot of fun at first. And it's a blast and it's a party. And maybe it hides your insecurities. And maybe it takes away your anxiety. But all that is temporary and it only gets worse. And eventually it gets to the point that you are alone, nobody wants to be around you, and you destroy everything. And it becomes a repeating cycle until you lose it all. And you either decide to get sober or you get sober in the ground. I'm grateful that I finally had a moment of clarity once, bawling in bed going, my God, my life repeats this cycle. And why does it repeat this cycle? Because of cocaine and alcohol. Not the only reason. I had a lot of trauma therapy and a lot of healing and stuff I needed to do. But ultimately, it was a huge key factor to it. And it was a struggle to get out. And yeah, I look back at all these warning signs that I was addicted to it. But at that time, you don't want to see them. But if you're questioning if you are an addict, you want to see those warning signs. And you almost want somebody to say, yeah, you are an addict, because you're starting to look for that reason to quit. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, hit the like and subscribe button. Comment down below. I put resources at NA and AA down below. And if you are struggling with addiction, just look around to everybody around you. Just say, hey, I'm an addict. I need help. And just start asking for help and being honest with yourself. And get ready for a beautiful nightmare, because it is a beautiful nightmare. It's hard, it's scary, it ain't easy. But ultimately, in the end, and time is different for everybody, it starts to get easier and starts to get better and starts to become worthwhile. So don't give up.